Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Chronicles. My name is Daddy Steve, and today's discussion is about work-life balance. I want to go over my personal experience with work-life balance, some of the things that I have struggled with during this whole streaming and balancing regular life. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. First thing I want to talk about is my background a little bit so you guys can see where I'm coming from as far as what I have on my plate, what I have to juggle with on a daily basis, and then kind of how I deal with it, and then some of the issues I faced early on with trying to juggle work and life and streaming. So with that being said, I'll jump right into the history of me and kind of what I have on my plate currently. As I mentioned in previous videos, I'm a father, I'm a husband. I work a full-time job, which obviously is 40 plus hours a week at work. And I also stream part-time 5 days a week. So you're probably wondering, and I also take night classes too. So you're probably wondering, like, how the hell do I manage to do all this and still maintain some type of life? Well, it's not easy for sure. And the number one thing I would tell anybody in my situation that is considering streaming as a part-time or something that they want to take into a professional growth pattern. You need to set up a schedule, dude. You have to set up a schedule. Schedules are extremely important. Not only will it keep you on track, it'll make you more efficient with your time, and you'll get more things done. The first thing you should do is before you do anything, is sit down and talk with your significant other. Talk with your wife, talk with your husband, talk to your boyfriend and girlfriend. Talk with your family. If you're still living with your parents, talk to your parents about streaming. You need to get whoever you're living with buy-in on what you're trying to do. So if you are seriously considering streaming and you're going to invest all this time into streaming, you need to make sure those that support you or those that are there for you emotionally, financially, whatever it may be, you got to make sure they're invested in it. If they're not invested in what you're doing, then you either need to change your situation, meaning you need to get out of the relationship or get out of the situation you're in and become independent yourself. Or B, not stream, because it'll be extremely difficult to stream if the person that you're living with that supports you emotionally and financially does not believe in your passion that you have. So you need to first and foremost get buy-in. Secondly, whenever you get that buy-in, you need to set up a schedule and you need to stick to your damn schedule. I see so many people not stick to their schedule, and so many people fail to capitalize on just being consistent with streaming in general. In my case, I started off streaming 3 days a week. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the rule that me and my wife had was that I was not going to stream when my daughters were awake. So the only time I would stream is when they went to bed, and they go to sleep around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I knew I would have to stream after they went to sleep, and obviously I need some time to get ready and get up to speed. So probably 9:30. So I landed at 9:30 to give myself a buffer. I would say I will stream from 9:30 to 1:30 in the morning, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those would be my hours of streaming. Obviously, sometimes the streams would go longer. I would start a little bit later. You know, there's flexibility there, but you're streaming on those days around that specific time. You definitely want to start on time as much as possible. It's okay if you go over, but being on time is important because that's when your audience expects you to be there. Think of your channel as like a traditional TV channel and a traditional program where people were expecting to watch a specific program at a certain time. So it's the same thing with your broadcasting career or your content creation. So if you're releasing videos at a specific time, they expect those videos to be released at that time. If you're doing a podcast, they expect you to drop a podcast episode on that specific day. So make sure you stick to your schedule. Whatever you decide on, make sure you stick to your schedule. It doesn't mean that you can't change your schedule in the future, which obviously you can. You can literally do a week by week schedule, but it's important to try to stick to some type of schedule because it holds you accountable and to let your audience know what to expect from your content that you're creating. Additionally, scheduling out your streaming stuff leaves you time to get other real life things done. In my example, I work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Monday through Friday. Those hours are dedicated to work. I have to be at work at 9. I leave work at 6. Sometimes I get there a little late. Sometimes I stay a little longer. But that is my general time that I start at work. And then from 6 p.m. until 7:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I go to the gym. I schedule time for myself to go to the gym. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have homework duty. So as soon as I get home from work, I am doing homework with my twin 7-year-old daughters. On the weekends, I have scheduled time to where the first half of my mornings on Saturday and Sunday, we are doing something as a family together. Whether we go eat breakfast, we go to the park, we go somewhere, we get out of the house, we go do something with the girls, we go watch a movie, whatever it may be. The first half of both days on the weekend are dedicated to our family. Then we come home and relax. We get ready for if it's Sunday, we get ready for school. If it's Saturday, we just hang out and be lazy. And then I get ready for streaming because I stream on Saturday nights and Sunday nights. So when the girls go to sleep at night, I'm streaming. And again, this is all part of a schedule. In addition to that, on Tuesday or Thursday or both days, I schedule time with my wife. So we have either movie night, or we watch a show together, or we hang out, we talk, whatever it may be. We schedule time together, so that way we guarantee that we have each other's attention during specific times of the day. It is important that you schedule time with everybody that is important in your life, because if you don't and you neglect them, eventually they're going to get tired of you. They will resent the hobby that you have, and that support that you thought you had at the beginning will soon evaporate. So you must get buy-in, and you must support those who support you by giving them the time that they deserve. So make sure you do that. So basically, to summarize what I just said, you need to schedule everything in your life, literally. And even my classes, I'm taking online classes still, and I schedule time to do online classes on the weekend. So I do some of it on Wednesdays, and Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then I do Saturday and Sunday if whatever I don't finish on Tuesday, Wednesday. So you need to schedule time for every aspect of your life, and it might be easier for you to write it down. If you need to pull out an Excel file and write down every single activity that you must do for the week, and then try to see where your streaming schedule fits in, you didn't do it. Everybody's schedule is going to be different because everybody has different things that they're responsible for. So you have so many competing priorities in your life. Maybe you have church on Sunday mornings and you cannot do anything on Sunday morning because you have dedicated church on Sunday morning and Sunday night. So Sunday streams are not going to be possible for you. So for every person, it's going to be different. You just need to make sure that you're writing down all the commitments that you have, and you stick with your commitments in real life, and then ease your way into the streaming thing. When I first started, like I said, I only had 3 days a week. Now I'm up to 5 days a week. It's because I've adjusted my schedule, and I've gotten better with my time to where I can fit in more streams and still take care of the business that I have to take care of with my family, with my work, and with my school. Those are the 3 things that are important to me, and I still make time to do all that and stream and work out and give myself time to work out and stuff like that. So definitely do that. Some of the pitfalls that I ran into early on with streaming were related to me trying to do too much or trying to stream too long or not sticking to a dedicated schedule. For example, early on, I would stream like until the early hours in the morning. I would stream from 9:30 till 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I would be dead at work. I would still get to work on time, but I would be basically useless at work. I would be so tired at work, even with coffee, that I wasn't able to think straight. A lot of times, my work quality wasn't as good as it could be. I wasn't as focused at work. There were so many things that I could have done better early on, but because of me not understanding the commitment and the effort it would take to start streaming, I hurt myself at work. And luckily, my job was very flexible with me, and luckily, I do a really good job at work, so they gave me some slack. But had I been in a situation where my boss was not as cool or my job is way more demanding, then I could have been in serious trouble and put my job in jeopardy and my family in jeopardy for that matter, because of the financial burden that would have caused. So make sure you are responsible when you first start streaming. I know you're probably out there excited that you're streaming, you're about to stream, that you're enjoying it, you're loving it. I mean, that's how I felt when I first started doing it. It was almost like an addiction at first. I was like, oh my God, I gotta do this constantly. And I just like went way overboard without sleeping or anything like that, and drove myself crazy almost, because I just didn't sleep at all, and I would have poor quality work. So make sure you stick to a schedule. It is extremely important for your health. It is extremely important for your well-being in other aspects of your life, such as work and school and family. No one's going to want to be around you if you're irritated and tired all the time. And on top of that, your streams are probably not going to be as good either because you're tired. You know, when I'm tired and I stream, I feel like I don't have as much energy to engage with my community. So it's really important that you're well rested and that you're fresh when you're going into it. So that way you have the energy and enthusiasm to keep going strong, because people feed off of that energy that you give on, and they can feel it. When you're on, people will feel it. And it's important that you understand that you listen to the signs that your body gives you when it's tired, when it's time to stop doing things, when your eyes hurt, when your body's weak, when you can't keep your eyes open, you're just like falling asleep. You're like, oh God, I'm gonna go to sleep. You have to listen to your body and treat your body with respect, because if you don't, it's gonna end up bad. You're gonna crash and burn. In addition to that, I mean, just looking at what you can do to stream. I mean, obviously in the beginning you think you're gonna be able to stream 12 hours a day, but honestly, like the first couple times you stream, it's gonna be extremely overwhelming, because not only are you trying to play a game, you're trying to play the game well, but you're also worried about interacting with your community, or hopefully you are. You're worried about being entertaining. You're worried about everything else going on. You're worried about the alerts on your screen. You're worried about changing your scenes if you have to change scenes on OBS. You're making sure your OBS is working right. You're hoping that your stream quality is appropriate. There's so many things that you're worried about whenever you're streaming when you first start, that it's extremely overwhelming, to the point where you're mentally exhausted at the end. So I would say ease into the streaming aspect. Start off with like 3, 4, 5 hour sessions, and then if you have more time and you're able to put in more hours, then you can look at the 6, 7, 8 and beyond hours that you want to stream. But remember, if you're tired, I say this at work all the time, there is a point where you hit diminishing returns. And what I mean by diminishing returns is, no matter how many more hours you put in, at a certain point your brain capacity just slows down. You just get tired mentally, that the product or the work that you're putting out is really not worth the amount of time that you're putting into it, because you're just not mentally all there to really do a good job as you would if you had a fresh mind on it. So there is a diminishing returns effect here. So make sure you're not burning out on the streams and making your streams and sabotaging your streams in a sense, because you're just too tired. So just make sure you take care of yourself. In addition to that, there are some times with my wife where on the weekends, like I would be too invested in networking with other communities at the wrong times. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's important to network and invest with other communities, but you want to do it on your own time. You don't want to take away your family's time to do it. And again, we had already established that Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings would be the time to spend with my family, and here I am networking in Twitch. It didn't go over well with the wife, so you got to stick to your schedule. This is a common theme. Stick to what you set up in the beginning, and everything will be fine. As long as expectations are understood on both sides, there usually is no conflict with your family or your partner or significant other. There's usually no conflict there. And if you have children, make sure you spend time with your children. Do not neglect your children. This is this is like common sense stuff, but you never know. There might be someone out there thinking that they have to sacrifice everything to become successful on Twitch. There's nothing more important than your kids, so make sure you don't forget that. And give your kids a lot of attention. Make sure they get to go out and enjoy life a little bit. Because they will eventually get tired of being in the home and stuck in the house, and it's good. It's a good bonding moment too, especially if you work full time and you don't get to see your kids that often during the week. It's a perfect time to catch up and bond with your children. So don't neglect your children. Don't be scummy parents. be a better parent than your parents were to you. That's my motto. Always be better than the previous parents that were there. And then lastly, I would say persistence is key. If you're sticking to your schedule and you're not deviating from it, and you're keeping your community informed, you just have to be patient and persevere. What I've learned in the small amount of time that I've been streaming is that Twitch is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It takes a lot of time to build momentum on the platform, especially if you're starting from scratch like I did. So if you don't have a snowball already rolling for you, then you have to start from a little baby snowball and eventually it'll turn into a big boulder. But you're literally rolling that snowball to slowly make it bigger until it turns into this massive force that's unstoppable. But right now we're in the beginning stages where we're just building a little tiny snowball, and eventually it'll get big enough. But again, you have to persevere through the quiet times, and you have to be patient. Perseverance and patience will take you a long way with streaming. And if you love playing video games and you just love sharing those experiences with others, it's going to come natural to you, and you're not going to worry about all this other stuff. So don't worry. If you are a passionate gamer like you say you are, then you will have no problem dealing with the slow days on Twitch, because there will be a time where you're getting great numbers, and then all of a sudden your numbers dip for a little bit, and you're like, where the hell did everybody go? You had to persevere through those times, because it'll bounce back. There's a lot of averages. Things go up and things go down, and then at the end of the day, it averages out to a certain point for you. So just be patient, be you, put on a good show for your community, interact with your community, and make sure you do not sacrifice real life commitments for streaming. especially in the beginning, because you don't know for sure if it's going to take off or not. And even if you have a good idea it's going to take off, it hasn't yet. And until you can replace your main job with streaming money, then you don't want to sacrifice any of your real life commitments. And on top of that too, you don't want to sacrifice your relationships with your family or friends either. Make sure you find a balance, and make sure you schedule time for yourself in addition to streams and other commitments that you have, and then go from there. And if you find that you don't have time for anything or any type of streaming, you can make content on the side. Streaming is a very time intensive thing, but there's nothing stopping you from making YouTube videos. There's nothing stopping you from posting messages on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. That you can do that in an instant. You could be a voice in a community until you do have more time to stream at a later point. Again, networking ahead of time before you even stream is way more influential. You already have a small snowball already built up. You don't have to start from scratch. So just keep that in mind. If you can't stream, there's social media platforms that you can be active in. There's communities that you can be a part of. In the meantime, until you're able to be active, just make sure that you are doing something with your time, and you're scheduling it out, and you're sticking to that schedule. With that being said, I am done with my little rant today. I hope my little spiel about work-life balance, work-life stream balance was helpful to you. Let me know some of the struggles you guys have had with time management and just balancing life, school, work, and streaming. Let me know the struggles that you've gone through, and let me know how you have dealt with it to make the best of your situation in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoy my content, guys, please please share it with your friends, and also subscribe. I really would appreciate that. Thank you so much for everybody that has done so already. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate everything you guys are doing. You guys are going to be growing with me. We're going to grow together. You're going to see me grow from nothing. This video will be a classic one day, guys. I promise you. One day we will be big, and you guys will be the first ones to say, I was here in the beginning, Steve. I remember when you had 12 subscribers. So thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate it. You guys really give me the motivation to keep pushing on. And until next time, you have a wonderful day, guys. I love you. Peace out.